Right, hello everybody and welcome back down to a brand new lesson. I'm on the 4th hole of the fire course at the Jumeirah Estates, and today we're going to be talking long iron versus short iron. What's the difference? Do we need to do anything different in our setup and our swing to see that we're getting the most out of both of those clubs? Let's take a look at this lesson right now. Long iron versus short iron, what is the difference? Well, if we class sort of a 4-5 and a 6 as a long iron, then a 7-8-9 as a shorter iron, we're going to be talking about loft and length as the difference. I've got my 8 iron and I've got my 4 iron here. When we put them down, we can see now that that 4 iron is quite a few inches bigger than the 8 iron. Also, the loft on these golf clubs, as we look at those, we will see that the 4 iron has significantly less. Now we're seeing generally that an 8 iron is going to be round somewhere around about 34 degrees and a 4 iron is going to be somewhere around about 20 degrees. They've got stronger as time's gone on, but those are the differences there. So why are they different? Well, the short irons decide for more precision when we get further down the fairway, when we get closer to the hole, we're trying to hit those in closer, so we need precision. The longer iron, on the other hand, it might be for a long par 3, it might be for a second shot on a par 5 or teeing off with. They're designed for a little bit more distance. The emphasis isn't so much on accuracy, so we need to make sure we're doing something slightly different with a long iron versus something slightly different with a short iron to see that we go and achieve those two things. We want the distance for the long iron and we want to achieve the accuracy with the short irons. Let's see how we're going to do that. Okay, so let's start with the long iron. What do we need to be feeling? What do we need to set up and what do we need to do in our golf swing? So first things first, the setup is going to be different for both clubs. What we want to see from a longer iron, because I'm trying to produce that speed, is I've got to build the platform to actually create the speed. If I stand to it narrow, I don't make a big turn, I'm not generally going to actually make any clubhead speed. So what I've got to do is make sure I set my stall out to be able to do so. So when I take my club into the ball, place it in, what I would like to see for a long iron is that I try and always keep it round about 1.5 inches behind my lead foot. Then from there I step out, so I feel a little bit wider than I would do with my mid iron. I would feel that my right foot, the inner sole here, is just tucked under my shoulder, just a little bit wider than my armpit length, but just giving me that good solid platform. From there then, like I say, what I want to try and do is create speed. So I'm going to try and have the widest takeaway I can and a big long backswing to really create a big stretch up at the top, which is going to give me this great position in the top of the backswing to transition into my downswing and make a big wide arc to create that speed. What I've got to feel a little bit as well is that when I take my setup, I would feel ever so slightly tilted with the long iron. Only marginally, I just see a little bit of tilt. Again, there isn't much loft on these, so I need to get it up in the air. If I were hitting my short iron, it'd be a little bit different because there is a lot of loft on there, so it's gonna pop up into the air. But what I need to see, once I've got that 1.5 inches behind, then the inner sole just stepped outside to the shoulder width, I just add a tiny amount of tilt from there. That then, like I say, as I come into impact, would see that as I push all the pressure into my front foot, I would still see that I've got this little bit of tilt ever so slightly in my spine to allow me to just get that little bit of extra help to launch the ball up. I'm still going to be hitting down on it, but it's only like 1-2 degrees down that I will be hitting on it. Then what do I need to feel in the golf swing? What do I need to actually do? Well, there's 2 stages, like I say. I want you to feel that you're going to have this aggressive push down into the ground with the lead foot to start your downswing. When people get a longer club in their hands, they tend to try and hit it from the top, and everything comes from the trail shoulders in the hands, and we get this driving motion here, and that's not going to help us. That's going to trap the ball and the club, and we're not going to launch the long iron. So what I want you to feel firstly is that you would swing up and you start your downswing by really pressing that left foot into the ground. Then from there, it's all about letting the club head actually pass the hands on the exit. So notice now, as I get into this point, you can see the butt of my club pointing to the floor. And a great little exercise for you to do and a drill. If you were to take one hand and think about this solely, I want you to try and imagine as you're going through, if you put the club into a position here where it's at this L position and you support it, your arms nice and straight, we've got some hinge in the wrist. I want us to push into that lead foot and then try and whip and create this butt of the club to look at the ground like so. If I can do that, we're actually letting the club head get some speed in there and really whip by our hands, which is going to be a little bit of a different feeling when we get into the short iron in the moment. So it's that 1.5 inches behind, insole of the trail foot underneath the shoulder, tiny bit of tilt, wide backswing, push that lead foot, then get the butt of the club trying to actually look at the ground, and then continue into a big full follow through. Let's give this one a little clip away and see if we've got that in my locker. So got all those checkpoints in my setup, wide, and feel that club head whip. And notice here as I'm finished, almost the club is pointing down to the target because I've let it whip by my hands with full acceleration, and that, hopefully the microphone picked it up because that's probably the best 4 iron I've hit in a long time. Let's head over to the 8 iron and see how we're going to hit those ones. Before we get into the short iron, guys, I want you to hit that subscribe button for me down below. Remember, I want you to get better at golf, and you're going to do that with your free lessons here on the channel with me, Matt Fryer, down there. Let's get a look at this short iron now. Okay, so like we said, the shorter iron has a lot of loft, so we don't need to actually help it up in the air as much, and we don't need to have a big focus on speed. I want to be trying to knock these close so I've got a better chance of holding my putt. So firstly, set up, what do I do? Well, I don't need the big wide base because I'm not trying to create as much speed. So what I would do, my ball is going to drop back ever so slightly in my stance. So it's going to be about 2 inches, 2.5 inches behind my lead foot. And also my trail foot has now come in where I feel the insole of my club is sat beneath my trail armpit here. So we can see that. So the base just isn't as wide. And then from there, again, I still want to make a full turn and a big wide backswing, but the big aim for me now as I'm coming through, again, I want to start that transition by pushing down into my left foot, but I'm really going to focus on trying to get the club head behind the grip and feeling that my lead wrist is flat, and I'm almost guiding the club face down towards my target here. It's not going to be as released as I was because I don't need that speed to help the ball get up. I need to make sure that my face is looking directly at my target. So I've got that slightly different setup position where I feel a little bit narrower. I still have a wide takeaway and a good turn. Then I feel I'm pushing in, but I'm really focusing on getting that club face really lasered in on my target. So as it comes in, I feel it a little bit wider on the way through and the face being a little bit quieter, not feeling my hands wrap over as much. We would see if we watched a lot of tour players, a lot of cut-off swings in the follow-through now. So as they would get through, we would see a wide one here, impact, and then feeling that they're almost holding it off because they're really trying to control what's happening with the club face as they go through. So a great little drill for this is taking an alignment cane, placing it out 4 or 5 paces in front of you and taking dead aim at it, seeing that you can try and control your club face towards that cane as you're going through. Instead of focusing so much on the speed, focus on the control of the ball flight. You're going to get the adequate distance anyway. If you're striking it, we need to laser it in. So good setup, ball 2.5 inches behind lead foot, trail foot just below my armpit, wide into the left side, get it through, and let's see if I can get this guided straight over the cane. Might even hit it if I get a good one. And it just finished a tad to the right of that cane, and it's dropped down just slightly right of my target there. So 2 ways, you know, understanding how you set up to it firstly and what the objective of each club is, and then go through those drills. And if you can do those, we're going to start to see that you are hitting longer long irons and you're hitting more accurate short irons. Guys, I hope this has helped you this week. If it has, do hit that subscribe button like I said before. Keep watching the videos and hopefully you're going to get better at golf with me here on the channel. See you in your next lesson.